All right, hello and welcome to the Aldature campaign. I'm Ninevin, I'm your host and GM, and with me are Kathia and Sonarios. And it's been a little bit since we got together, so we're shaking the rust off. Last time we played, I'll let one of you guys recap.
We were at the Skull Ruins, and we had explored several of them. We'd met some trolls and made friends, I think. I don't know. I'm going to pretend they're friends.
Acquaintances.
Yeah, acquaintances. I think we're considered future customers. And we checked out a wyvern and decided to leave it alone for the moment. And now we found the one we want to go into. I believe it's one of the eye holes. And it's full of wild boars, and we want to get to the back and get a bone out to deliver to the dwarf mine. Tell me everything I forgot.
This is Sonarios, and we are on a quest. Definitely not a fetch quest. For our good friend Orstar, because he wants to get married to a girl over in a different clan, and we're matriarchal, so we send our men off, and they are patriarchal, where they send their women off, and so they're both trying to get married to somebody from the wrong kind of clan, but not wrong. That's why you don't get married for love. And so he needed something of worth,
Right.
so he felt like he could get that from the dwarf, which then we went over to Aldature to research and look into that. And then we found out some things about it between Harvard Lightfist, the Rune Lord, a Shalana Roy priest, and thought, oh, a dragon bone would be a good thing to trade. And the Skull Runes would maybe have some, hopefully. And then we are going on to the various slots and holes, and I think we're looking at Snorter, because I think Snorter had the boars, and Left Eye had the wyvern. And we looked through the other three and did not find anything.
Is a nostril.
Oh, so we had a nostril. Was I wrong?
Yep, you're at the last nostril. And as you were creeping downhill, so you're over it, you heard the grunting and squeals of wild boars. So you're kind of the entry of this cave would be below you and your group as you approach it, and you can't really see into it, but you can hear things to let you know that there's something in there. Wild pigs are not uncommon in Dragon Pass, and you know they typically run around in a group of like 8 to a dozen, generally. And that's what you have to go on right now.
Hey, remind me real quick.
Mhm.
Who do we have with us? We have Mardina and Orstar. Is it Elendor?
Yeah.
Okay. That's what I thought, but I was like, I didn't know this. So we hadn't spotted them yet. We just heard them at this point.
Yes, because you're above the cave entry, so you can't really see into the cave. You can just sort of hear them as you approach where you know the cave is. So you have some. They don't know you're there either. You have some time to maneuver around a bit if you want.
So how do you think we should handle this, Solenarios?
Well, a part of me is wondering if we should try to find a way to almost scare the pigs out. I don't know if we use fire, or clapping, or cowbell, or stuff like that. Because I'm thinking you have 8 to a dozen boars with 3 of us who are combat capable. And then one of my fears is we're going to go through all this quest that's not a fetch quest, kill Orstar off.
Not a fetch quest for an NPC. I'm sorry. No, I agree. That's a good idea.
Yes, it would be tragic if you got Orstar killed.
But he would have died for love. It would have made the best story ever. Probably one about not chasing love outside of traditional something.
See?
I'm all for. I mean, I could shoot a fire arrow back in there if you think it would help. It would seem like if I'm down there, I'm maybe in the best position to not get killed by these.
Especially if you do
Not
that.
doubting you. I think I could take Elendor. Surely has a big shield that I can hide behind while I shoot.
A shield, yeah. Okay, yeah. So you two can do that. Let's make just a hide roll, or no, sorry, move silently, move quietly. Make
Move
a sneaky
quietly.
roll.
I'm excellent at move quietly. Watch this.
Okay, you're the best in the party at it.
Oh dear Lord.
How'd you do?
I rolled a 98.
Oh,
My skill is 30%, so I think that may just be a failure. Tell me, OGM.
there's a table in the core book about that. Give me a
What's going
second
to
here.
fall to my death?
I think you're okay. I think you failed for sure.
No, I definitely failed for sure.
So at 30%, no, that's a fumble.
That's a fumble?
Yep.
Yeah, 97 to 100 is a fumble.
So I basically tried to.
You
and
need to
then I
have a
stumble
31 or better.
I needed what?
You need to have a 31 in the skill to
Oh,
get to
that
98 to 100 to be not a fumble. Yeah.
I'm off by
So
1%, and I
yeah,
already
so
have a skill checking.
by the slimmest of margins, you fumble. So
I slip and slide and fall down, making a cacophonous noise.
basically, yes. As you're creeping around, you're trying to loop out wide to kind of avoid the cavern and set yourself up to shoot into it, and you just slip like partway down, and you sort of slide like you do that, like not quite sitting, but you've got like your hands and feet on the ground, trying to control your fall, and it makes quite a bit of noise. It kicks up a few rocks that go tumbling down the side of this hill as well. So you're not
Am I
hurt. No,
Okay.
you don't get hurt.
Skin knee.
Yeah, it's not fun, but it's loud, and that's enough. Like it's quite a problem because you end up nearer to the cave entrance than you wanted to be. Your loop turned into a flat drop,
Mm-hmm.
and you're at sort of its level. As you now have the attention, you can tell. You hear a moment of silence from the cave, like a sharp indrawn breath, and then you hear the horrible grunting war cry of a boar.
So I'm going to ask you this because
Yes.
I was trying to sneak probably without my bow out. Do I have my shield on me and spear?
You were definitely carrying those things. It's always a choice, you
And
know.
the
If you were
bow's where I'm
trying to
going to go
leave,
in the end.
if you were trying to leave your hands free, you probably had your spear and your shield probably on your back, right? That way you could like maneuver around carefully. But you would have had your spear in hand if you weren't carrying your bow.
Then as long as I haven't lost it in the drop, I'm going to grab the spear, and if I have time, I'm going to try to swing the shield around.
Okay. So yeah. Let's see. I mean, it does have to, it knows you're there. It is angry. So what boils out of the cave, this cavern, sort of a half an oval, is a large grizzled boar. It's got scars on its sides. It's bigger than the rest of them, but not too terribly far behind it are several more that are a little smaller, and their tusks aren't as aggressive. You would think maybe they're sows.
Goodbye.
Say what?
I said goodbye, guys.
Goodbye. You'll be, I think you'll be fine. Maybe. All right. So go ahead and we're moving into combat. By the time you dust yourself off and get back up, like you get up onto your knees and you start to like, you're screwed, so you start pulling for your gear, and that's when you make contact with this boar. So you're gonna need to declare intentions here, which would include things like getting my shield out and stuff, and then we'll compare your SR's stats to see how it goes.
I mean, my intention here is to get my shield out, but if it's going to arrive to me at first, my intent will be to stab it.
Right. So get your shield out if you can. If you can't, at least try to stab it. Yeah.
Yep.
Makes
I would
sense.
prefer to have everything out, but if I have to, I have the spear in hand, so I will stab it. So I would like to stab at my normal strike rate.
Right. The good news is its weapons aren't very reachy, so it's fairly slow. Let me just look up how long it takes to pull out something. Feel free to open your guys' books up as well to strike ranks and stuff, so we can get kind of a.
I've got my strike ranks all recorded, by the way. I'm strike rank 5 for my spear attack.
Right. Oh, cool. And what does it take usually to pull a shield out?
Most things I think are just 3 SRs for
to ready. Yeah.
Okay. To do a task, I believe. I'll look it up.
That's usually correct. Sorry, I should have known this. I actually read through this just a couple days ago, but I've read through a lot of things in the last couple of days. So
this is where one of those things that the different editions
are all strike ranks. To prepare or change a weapon takes 5.
Okay.
Let's see here. Oh, and a shield. That makes an interesting conundrum for you. Since the shield is on your back, it would take 10.
Okay,
this is page 194. So you have an option here. You can either say, nope, shield's not happening, and just get your spear ready, which is already in your hand, so it's not like you have to ready it.
I'm going to do that.
Okay.
I think that's my impulse. Her impulse is to go offensive first.
Right.
And go try to redirect. Yes.
Cool. All right. So what strike rank do you attack on? Okay, cool. So you'll actually get the first attack here. So it charges at you. You don't have time to get your shield out. You just brace your spear. Yep. So you'll get to attack it because you have a spear and it has a tusk. 2 tusks, actually.
Makes sense. Hold it. Yep. I'm missing my D20. My D20 head hitter. I might be in trouble.
Good. Good.
You ready for me to attack?
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. It's charging you. You're trying to get up back onto your feet and hit it with a spear.
I do hit it. I do get it.
Okay.
I get just a normal hit.
Do you go ahead and roll damage location?
I will. Location's 11. And let's see my damage.
Oh,
It's,
cool. Because I have a different hit table.
yeah, I don't know it's hit Sable.
I've
I guess
got
I could look. It's going to be the same as the horse one. A little further down my sheet. And I do 7 points of damage.
Okay. So you hit it in the right foreleg. So you stab it in the leg basically, and it hits it, like it catches it. You feel it, the tip of your spear catch on bone and bounce, but that doesn't seem to stop it.
I did damage.
Oh yeah.
I do want to remind you, I'm pretty sure I get another attack later this round if I'm still alive. Since my SR is 5. Oh, but I have to have my skill to do that? Or do I not have to do that?
I think you have
We
to have
should
enough
clarify.
skill to split.
That's ranged weapons. You can do it without splitting the skill, right?
Maybe we may actually have to dig deeper into this at some point.
No, you're right. My skill's not high enough. I know better than that before I even said it. Never mind. Ignore me.
You're good. You're good. Okay, cool. No worries. I get it. You don't want to die. All right. So,
No, I'm trying to remember the rules for this game I've been playing for 40 years.
well, but this game we haven't been playing too long, and that creates a lot of problems when you're trying to like bounce between editions that are like just slightly different. That can be almost worse. All right, so you stab it. It leaves a big rent across its leg. It hurts it obviously, and then it just continues closing that distance and runs into you, as wild boars are wont to do. Okay, so he's going to try to hit you. Of note here, he's going to hit you. You can parry or dodge this. Like, you have your spear out in front of you. You have choices here.
I'm going to try to redirect him with my spear. That would
Okay.
be a parry. I do.
Oh, good. Okay, well, just a regular attack. So we'll just, what's the armor of your spear?
Has 10 hit points.
10 hit points. Okay, that's pretty good. Sorry, I've got too many things open. All right, here we go. Oh, nice. Okay, so your spear is fine. He like jerks his head, and you kind of slam your spear haft into him and just move him aside. So he ends up very narrowly missing your leg as he goes roaring by you. Like his charge gets pushed sort of aside, and just he lashes out but can't quite connect with you. So you see a flash of tusk kind of at hip height, and he moves on. So that's him. That happens later on. The other boars that popped out that you think are maybe sows, there's quite a few of them, and they aren't charging you. They're kind of milling around, but you feel like they're getting their courage up.
Is Elendor anywhere nearby that she can provide? I know she's up above since I slid and fell down.
They're on their way, and everybody heard you fall, so it's not like the rest of the party can also move to support. It's just that this round is kind of you're on your own because of the fumble.
She was the only one I was thinking. I wasn't sure how far she was behind me. We're good.
Closest, yeah. Moving in.
Worth it ask.
Getting the sword and shield together and moving in.
Yep. And she has to get down here without falling down.
Yep. Rest of the party. So Scenarios, you most relevantly, you're with our non-combatants as well. You can kind of see what's happening from up above. And remember, this is a slope, not like a cliff. So you're higher up and also further back. But you can go to help if you want.
Throw stuff.
Do you want to help? You're like, no, let it play out. This is something she has to do for herself.
That's what you get for trying to be sneaky.
It's the only way to get better at it.
Yep. No, the part is I see the one big boar, and then I see a bunch of other not small boars.
Do you have a sleep spell?
I'm going to learn that at the temple next time. The part of me... Ooh, I hit my table. Part of me had this thought of trying to intimidate the boars, kind of channeling some earth, maybe try to augment the skill, do some clinging of axe upon shield.
Okay. Yeah, so you would have to close with them to do that. Like you'll have to move towards them. I don't know that you'll actually reach them, but you'll have to like approach them while trying to get their attention.
Move down the slope. Try not to slip and fall.
I will move carefully. I'm going to still pull out the axe and shield if I don't have them pulled out already, and make my way there.
Okay, so at the end of this, so your declaration of intent would be to move down the slope towards them while readying your weapons, and then trying to frighten them. Okay, cool, awesome. So we'll do that. What do you are with? Scenarios. You are with Orstar and Mardina. What do you want them to do? You can verbally instruct them here to do something. Otherwise, I'll just have them do something on my own initiative.
I think they should stay up here and ready javelins or bows and don't shoot too close to
Right.
for Arnaldo's sake.
Okay. Right. That sounds good. They both nod. They're a little Orstar more so than Martina, though they both look a little spooked.
He better feel guilty if he gets me killed on this fetch quest for him.
Martina has seen the three of you do battle before. She's confident, sort of. All right. So that's them. Their intent then is to ready missile weapons and fire at the boar, probably. Okay. Lindor is sliding down the slope, pulling weapons, and that's going to take the round. Like getting all like shield and sword together again is going to take the round, basically. So you're sort of on your own for one more round here, Kathia, but you'll have a little missile help coming in.
It's all right. I'm good.
And the missiles will probably go before you go.
In the next round?
Yeah, you need to declare intent.
Okay. Do I have...
Mm-hmm.
I'm picturing this place as being kind of... Is there like dry brush or anything around?
Yeah, there'd be some. It's Earth season. You're just kind of coming out of fire season. We're not too deep into Earth season, so things are fairly dry. It's pretty like rocky, stony around here, but there are some patches of dry, like weedy grasses and some little
specifically
trees here and there.
Close to me, between me and some of the pigs.
Just make a power roll for me here. Against the characteristic, just for luck. Yeah.
I rolled a 58.
I
think a 13 or 14.
So that'd be like pow times 5.
Yep.
It's a pretty middling result. Yeah, there's a few clumps around. Nothing too big, but yeah, there's some.
Is the boar looking like it's coming back?
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's kind of he ran by you at a sprint with his head down, and he's now kind of turning a loop to run by you again.
All right.
Boars also choose violence, so
I don't know if I know enough to make this decision, but if I can tell that it's going to take enough time for him to get back, I'm going to cast an ignite on the clump closest to me. That's big enough that it'd create a nice little fire.
Okay.
If he's going to ride back, if it looks like he's going to ride back, for my best judgment now, I would hold off on that and just attack him instead.
Okay. Well, so you think you have time?
Okay. Then I'm going to cast an ignite on the clump and just see if I can create a fire and give them something else to think about.
Okay, cool. Okay, so let's see what happens. The first thing that would happen as the boar starts to turn and shriek again, that high pitched and then cry that descends into a grunt. Like you look at a clump of grass between you and the group of boars, and you cast a spell at it. How do you cast ignite? Like, what do you do? Do you have an implement sort of thing, or a tattoo, or?
We haven't talked about this before, and I haven't thought about it.
We haven't cast them too much.
Well, I've cast a lot of fire arrows and speed.
True. I just assumed you had something built into your bow or the arrows.
I do. That. Yes, I do. Ignite. I have a tattoo on my arm.
Okay, that makes sense. So you kind of just point at it.
Yeah, it's actually my right hand, my spear hand.
Nice.
That way I can just kind of point. It almost looks like it's coming out of the spear, even though it's not really. It's coming out of my hand.
That makes sense. Okay, so you gesture with your spear at a clump of dried brush, and it.
And we do we make a roll in this for spirit magic?
Since you would spend it, and there's nothing that can really resist it, but probably feel free to roll.
I'll roll first. I rolled a 65.
I'll double check because we haven't been doing too much of this, unfortunately.
This is one that varies a lot between editions. Sorry, I'm talking away from the mic. Spellcasting. Yeah. Chance of successful casting a spell is POW times 5.
POW times 5. Yeah. I was just getting there.
So my POW is 13 times 5 is really? My math is right. That's a 65, and I rolled a 65.
Okay, so it goes off.
It does go off.
That's convenient. You've had a lot of these
very
super close.
All my attack rolls have so far been about 3% under my skill.
Nice. You're just hanging in there. So yeah, so that you point your spear at it and focus, and that patch of brushy, weedy stuff like ignites. It just catches on fire where it's standing because it's pretty dried out. That does. You can, even as you turn your attention back to the boar, you can tell that the other pigs like sort of back up a little.
Good.
You don't know if it will keep them away or if it's just a momentary distraction, but it's certainly better than nothing. Okay, so that costs what, 1 MP, 1 magic point?
Yep. I
Okay,
used
cool.
the magic point.
Good job. All right, so you do that. That happens first. Then our favorite support characters will throw a couple of javelins. Oh, those are misses. All right, so
None of them hit me though, right?
no, they're not fumbles. They're just not great rolls, and they're not good at this. So they, Orstar and Mardina have both picked up javelins. They're carrying a couple apiece. That's kind of what they do. And they throw one. They each throw one javelin, and they each miss. So it looks like they don't know how to lead a target.
But at least maybe they will create enough ruckus that these things will go somewhere else.
Yeah, maybe. Okay, so that happens. Elendor's continuing their descent. The boar will attack you, Kathia, and then the last thing that'll happen is that Sonarios will get close enough to actually interact with the sows.
So is the boar going before me now, or am I able to still attack?
I forgot about you. I just forgot about you. You go. Go. You go. I'm sorry. I apologize.
No, it's fine.
You did a thing, and so in my head I crossed it off, but you're right. You have more than one thing going on.
That's all right. I missed.
Just plain old miss.
Just a normal miss. Yeah.
All right, that's
79.
Cool. All right, so then it'll charge. It misses. So somewhere in between there, it's wary of you and it pulls short, like it flinches away from you.
So
a few inches too early.
If I roll a special parry against its miss, does that do anything?
We're asking all sorts of hard questions today. All right, let's see. Special parry versus failed attack.
May not do anything.
It would, in theory, damage his weapons.
Like a Tusk.
Maybe. Let's roll your weapon's special damage.
That would be an impale if I were rolling it special damage.
Yes, but you're not doing an impale. You're just rolling your special damage.
Okay. Roll like I would do damage with everything.
Yes, roll it as if it were an impale, but it's not actually impaling. You didn't.
Got it.
Yeah, 9? Okay. Let me just take a quick look at him here. Okay. You kind of whack him as he goes, like, when he tries to pull short, you kind of smack him across the face, which drives him further away from you. You're not sure if you hurt him or not, or if you just made him mad. It's hard to tell. He's already pretty mad. So, cool. I'm going to make a note. All right, and then last of all, Scenarios, you've been kind of steadily marching down that hill, trying to get close, and you're kind of like readying your shield. You already had axe to hand, I would imagine. So you're not in too bad a shape, but as you get close here, you have a chance to try and scare these guys. So you're like, how do you go about this? Do you yell, scream?
Well, I'm yelling the equivalent of Sui and Arshite. Okay. But also I'm clanging my axe on my shield and trying to almost herd the animals out as well. I'm not trying to get them to cower further in the snorter that we're trying to get into.
Righto. Yeah, that makes sense. So yeah, as they've come out, you're trying to cut them off from the cave a little bit and sort of scare them back a touch. Okay. Are you going to?
I'm going to try
augment this with anything
with earth.
Okay. That makes sense. Pigs are earth animals. They're related to the earth rune. They're sacred to Ronalda. So the earth rune is a valid vector for this. For the record, Kathia, your fire rune would be useful on horses and birds, whereas the earth rune is more about like pigs and serpents usually.
I have earth rune too. This is not real good.
Right. All right. So you yell, bang, clang your weapons. This is what I'm going to say. I know that you get a modifier for brandishing a weapon, right? As an intimidate, but they're pigs and they outnumber you substantially, so we're not going to use any modifiers. But you're not going to take any penalties. So go ahead and roll. The earth thing can still work though. Go ahead and try to channel the earth rune here.
Okay, so I'll roll to try to augment it with earth.
Yes.
A 62 is a regular success, at least.
Yeah, absolutely. So you'd add 20% to the ability for the duration, basically. As long as you're trying to scare them and not fighting them, you'll keep this 20% bonus to intimidate.
It's not as high of a bonus as I'd like to have, but that's fine.
Right. It was the most likely outcome, though.
I think intimidate is a better choice than trying to orate to them. So
I agree. And probably a better choice than trying to fight them.
I rolled a 60, so that's a failure.
Does that fail? Okay.
I appreciate the effort.
All right. You get a check in your Earth rune.
Hooray.
So make sure you do that because you used it.
Good job.
And you used it. I mean, you used your Earth rune successfully. It worked. Let's see here. Your intimidate is. Oh yeah, I see what you're saying. So you had a 40 after that. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So what happens is that the pigs, like you get in between them in the cave and you make a lot of noise, and they're like we keep adding threats to the environment. So even though you didn't like drive them away or scare them off, they're not ready to fight either.
That's a good intermediate step. I'm good with that.
Yeah, like some of it's just because like you didn't attack them, but you're obviously there now. We're adding people, there are projectiles being thrown, now there's fire. There's a lot going on, and they're not quite as violent as the males. They're fully capable of goring someone to death. They're just a little more judicious about it. So all right, so that's round 2. Excellent. Now we go into round 3. I need statements of intent from everybody. Let's start with Kathia, because Kathia is in the most immediate danger.
Well, I assume I have my boar friend right here. And I don't really have anything I can do beyond stab it and then parry it.
Right, stab and parry, got it. Sounds good. Elindor can join you. Do you have anything specific you want them to do other than just lay in?
No. Stab,
All right.
parry.
Cool. So they'll approach and try to kind of box this boar in a little bit, so you guys can beat up on it. Sonarios.
I want to keep the sows at least out where they are, and if possible, yell at Orstar and Mardina to throw in front of the boar, not behind it.
Right.
Hang on, we're in front now. Be careful.
Careful. Yes. So they their intent is to ready their javelins and wait for an opening. So like if one of you were to get gored, they would try to get a boar off of you, or
That's okay.
if the boar like got far enough away for them to feel safe about it, like if it made another pass and started to loop again, they would try. But otherwise, they're going to kind of pick their moment since they know about how good they are. All right,
Fair
cool.
enough.
So this has all been going on, and then in round 3 fight. Yeah. So the first thing that'll happen, I think the speediest thing to happen is that before anybody can act, you it's getting towards late afternoon. There are some shadows and stuff, but the sun suddenly gets darker. Like there's definitely like a shadow or something moving between you and the sun, a cloud, something. But you all notice the light dim for a moment, and you feel an uptick in the breeze. Well, we'll find out.
I guess we're too focused in to catch the details, which makes sense.
Yeah, that happens, but you're like, wait, what? And then, cool, okay. So then the next movement that would happen would be Kathia, I believe.
Strike rank 5. Stab the boar. Oh dear lord. No, 96. I didn't fumble.
Yeah, that's not a fumble. Your spear is way too good for that to be a fumble. So you just miss. That's fine. It hasn't been parrying because it can't, because it's a boar, and it hasn't really been dodging either. Like it's pretty much just been running at you. Yeah. So you just miss. That's fine. The next thing that happens, like right after that, so you like stab at this boar. As it kind of gets close to you, it sort of pivots. It's trying to like run at you, and you're ahead of it on that, so it's having some trouble like keeping you as a target. So that happens, and then Sonarios, like right in front of you, you've got this herd of pigs in front of you.
Yeah.
That you're kind of halfway keeping at bay, and this huge shape just drops out of the sky and like lands on one of them and just grabs it. And it starts screaming. There's blood. The pigs around you just scatter, and they don't go back to the cave. They just scatter, like every which way, like screaming in terror. There's a huge reptilian creature, looks like scaled. It's got 2 back legs, big wings.
So I was right.
Yes, you were right. And it's got this huge. It's got this boar or sow. It just in its mouth, and it's landed now.
Well, maybe we can make friends with it.
Cool. So that happened. Next. Okay, so the big question for me, wild card, do your support characters throw javelins at the wyvern?
I would say They're probably too.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. Is like, do they have a fear reflex and just like chuck
My
it at the
guess is
like
they just
this awful
freeze.
change in situation, or do they freeze up like in fear? And it looks like they just freeze up. They just get more scared. They're probably not going to throw javelins. Period. No matter what happens this round.
Fair.
Which good or bad, take it as you can. All right, so that happens. Sonarios, what are you up to?
Turn actually yell at the Orstar and Mardina to get down and maybe head towards the hole.
Okay, try to hide, basically. Okay, makes sense. And then your statement of intent was to
hold the pigs where they were.
hold the pigs, right? Okay, so that situation is drastically changed. You can't really redirect anything outside of like yelling at things. As a result, so you're kind of just like, the thing I wanted to do has suddenly and violently been wrenched away from me, and now I have a new set of problems to contemplate. So you may think about what you want to do next round,
I'm gonna
and
remind you. Where's Elendor Blue?
with you, and they're about to attack. Don't worry,
Okay, thank you.
they're about to help
Sorry.
you. Like we're kind of going down the checklist. So yeah, next up, Elendor takes a swing.
Hit off, or is that a miss? Off.
Just a bad miss. 97. So yeah, so they try, but they just miss. Like there's a lot going on.
Yeah, that's fine. She's good enough. That's not a critical. That's not a fumble, though, right?
No, it wasn't a fumble.
That's good.
Yep, cool. All right, so that all kind of happens in a clash, and then the pig gets to go. He is not that smart, and he just
for me.
Yep, he keeps trying to go for you. Like he's very locked in now. You've hurt him. You were the initial aggressor. He maybe hasn't even really realized that the wyvern is in
He's
it.
pretty focused in on goring me.
Yep. So he's gonna hit unless you parry.
I do get a successful regular parry. 36.
Cool. Okay, and again, the damage rolls are poor, so you just your spear just holds him at bay. He just can't. He tries to get in, and you just won't let him. So he's just kind of struggling.
That's what I'm going for.
Cool. And then we'll go to the top of the next round. Okay, so statements of intent from everybody. Sonarios, you are now in the most mortal peril, so you get to go first.
I'm gonna head toward Elendor, try to help get rid of at least one creature that might attack us, and try to help with the boar so then we can go get away from.
Okay, makes sense. Yeah, and for the record, your eyeball assumption is probably correct. The nostril caves are smaller than the eye caves by a significant amount, and he probably can't fit in there. Or the wyvern probably can't fit in there, I should say.
I'm trusting right now. He's just busy consuming.
Or the sow is small enough that he can probably just swallow it, like this round. So,
well, anyhow,
good instinct. All right, so you're like, I'm gonna go fight the boar because the boar is now the least dangerous thing around. Makes sense. All right. So, okay, so you'll do that. And then Kathia.
I don't have a lot of choice but stab the boar.
That's true. You're still locked in mortal combat with an angry boar. Elendor, similarly, helping you. Mardina and Orstar are going to try to hide.
That's smart of them.
Yes, because they don't want to fight a wyvern. They're not even really capable of fighting a wyvern in any meaningful sense.
Either.
I'm not sure you are either. I'm not sure you have to. We'll see how. I'm going to keep the wyvern statement of intent secret for the moment. And since this is something that they can do right now and they started doing last round, I'm just going to go ahead and roll hide checks. Oh, they actually did really well. They both rolled below 25, which is good enough. So they sort of just disappear.
That's wise of them.
Yeah, I mean they might contribute still, but this round they're hiding. So they tuck away behind some rocks and stuff, and you lose track of them, which fair. You all have a lot going on. Okay, so the order for this is going to be for human people on the field on your side are going to be Kathia with the spear, followed by Elendor because they're right there, and then Sonarios last as you close the distance to go help fight. And then the boar will go last of all after the three of you because its attacks are really, the strike rank is a 10, so very slow. And at some point the wyvern will do something, but I'm not sure yet what it will be. All right, so Kathia, you're up first.
Wait, let's see if I can hit it. Oh, I hit.
Ooh,
It's just a regular hit, but it is a hit. And I do 7 points of damage.
Okay.
16.
to the 16.
Probably a limb.
Okay, the 16 is the. Oop, sorry, I about said something stupid because I was looking at the wrong table. Left foreleg.
Is that enough to take it out?
7. You did 7 damage total.
Yep.
No, not quite. You're where you were on the right foreleg before, where it's got 1 HP left.
Oh, did I hit the foreleg before?
Yep, you've hit it in both of its front legs now.
Well, the first one was an 11. I thought that would have been abdomen.
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
That's fine.
It's got in the bestiary, page 162 has the hit location table for wild boar.
I totally believe you. Don't worry about it.
Good. You should. All right.
Well,
All right. So you give it a good stab, right in the leg, and it doesn't like it. It screams in fury, and then a Lendor will attack it. Much better. That's definitely a hit to the one of the already damaged legs. Oh, it's enough, but just barely. All right, so ridiculous. I rolled a 1 and a 3 for the damage, so total damage of 5 with the sword's bonus. So, which is just enough to damage that right foreleg down to 0.
But that puts it on the ground.
Well, it's a quadruped, so no, it can still run around, but it's slow and clumsy compared to where it was because it has to hop on one of those 2 sets of legs, which isn't a good situation to be in. So yeah, Elendor gives it a good chop across the leg, one of the front, the right foreleg where you've heard it before, and their cut kind of crosses yours, and then the boar is like it picks that leg up, like it pulls it tighter to its body, and it's kind of like hop running as it tries to get to you, but it's having a bad time, and unfortunately, male boars are in real life one of the few animals that will just commit to fighting to the death pretty early.
No, that's fine. I know.
Wolves will run, bears will run, boars fight. So they're real jerks like
cousin, that. Come save us.
All right, so yeah, you can go. You run over. You're running away from the wyvern. You're aware. You're putting your back to the wyvern when you do this.
Yeah, I'm trying to listen behind me.
I love how we have 3 of us there, and we're all bearing our cult weapons, and we all have different weapons.
It has been that sort of game. Tell me a hit location for that. 5. Okay, that's a hindquarter. All right, so that would be kind of up on its hip. 10 damage.
Yep.
Nice.
Dang. Okay, so that doesn't kill it, but you chop it across the hindquarter, like its hindquarters. You hit like across the hips there.
Yeah.
And you cut deeply. You feel your axe like hit bone. And its back legs both just drop out. Like it's still kicking, but it can't hold its weight.
It can't have many hit points left after we've done what we've done to
It doesn't.
each of the 3 locations.
It doesn't. It's having a bad time.
I say with mechanical knowledge.
Yes. So you broke its pelvis probably, or at least cut into it, and it's not capable of standing on its back legs. They're still mobile in the sense that it can like kick with them, but it can't like hold itself up anymore. So it sinks, like it kind of half sits and then kind of sort of slumps, and it's throwing its head around and kicking with its legs, but it can't really move anymore. So that's cool. You hear behind you, Sonarios, and the 2 of you, the others who are there can kind of see this like awful crunching noise as this wyvern like throws its head back and just sort of swallows the sow, and it doesn't have front legs, it only has its wings, and so it's sort of awkward on the ground, but it takes these like rolling steps as it tries to turn sort of towards you, and its tail lashes out and it catches another sow with its tail, like it just stabs it, and then it's standing there in front of you, sort of choking down this pig it just killed. There's another one dying on the barb of its tail, and it just looks at you.
We can take it.
We can take it. Kill this boar, no problem. How much tougher can a wyvern be?
For this, I would probably go for my bow, which would make me a little more deadly.
True. Okay, so we're going to move to the next round, and you guys can kind of figure out what you want to do. You have a badly, probably mortally injured boar at your feet. You have a wyvern kind of considering you. There are still, you can hear a few pigs still kind of running off in different directions. You have no idea where Medina and Orstar are.
We know they're in the cave, though, right? We
Well, you
saw
know
them
they're
get to
around
the
there.
cave.
They hid. You don't know if they where exactly they ended up, but they both kind of like dipped out of view. So
Yep.
you would assume they're moving towards the cave, but you're not really sure where they ended up or how far they got.
Hunters ourselves.
Mhm.
But since this wasn't really a hunting situation, do we need to consider peaceful cut?
No, you're not butchering animals. You're just killing
Okay.
them. Like if you were going to harvest them for food, it would be a different transaction.
Which we would do if it doesn't get eaten by the wyvern.
Because I think we almost leave it here as it's thrashing about.
That's going to be my character's statement at the very beginning. Is I'm going to get to the cave. I'm going to hand you my spear while I pull out the bow and arrow, knock it, and then the last one in because I'm not going to run before the rest of you. I'll back into the cave, giving you
Okay.
cover.
All right, so that's your statement of intent. What
Yep.
What is Sonarios doing?
Cave and at this point regretting having the heaviest armor.
That's
right.
right. You're going to go first.
Yep. And towards the cave and
Okay, cool. Elendor is going to follow suit on account of not being suicidal, and I'll hold Orstar and Merdina's statements of intent in my mind, since you don't know what they're doing. All right. Okay.
Hide.
Right. So there's this huge wyvern, sort of. It's big. I mean, it's bigger than a horse, for sure. Like its body would be bigger than a horse. And it's got these huge back legs, big wings, a long neck with a long muscular neck, and like a long tail with that stinger on it at the end, and currently a boar on the end of it too. So it like watches you and it kind of tilts its head as you're moving, and you're sort of clustered up a little and backing away towards the cave, and it turns to follow you for a moment, and then once it seems like you're withdrawing, it takes like 3 big steps forward, and the third step, it's one of its feet just lands on the boar and grabs it, and then it takes off, and it pushes off and like jumps into the air and starts flapping its wings, and there's this huge downdraft that just drowns everything in dust. It's loud, and then it just leaves. So it just kind of vanishes as you withdraw into the cave.
Yay.
And then about a minute later, as your sort of adrenaline starting to come down, Merdina and Orstar kind of pop up around the corner of it. So they hid until it was gone, and then they crawled down here.
That's all right. That was smart. The only thing I'm going to check as the drone comes to I'm going to watch the fire I started and make sure I don't start like a general prairie fire out of it.
No, it can't travel too far. The ground around here is pretty rocky.
I was
and a lot
picturing
of
that.
yeah,
Just keeping an eye.
so it really can't jump anywhere. It'll just kind of
Good.
burn itself out over a few minutes. Cool.
Get a
You got
drink
to
of
meet
water.
the other
clean up my
wyvern.
weapons.
So it's
And
nice.
I think we go search the caves.
Makes perfect sense. All right, so in here there is, some pig nests is the wrong word, but they push little dirt paths into the ground. There's some pig poo, and it's otherwise a narrower, lower ceiling than some of the other caves you've been in, but still tall enough for you to stand in. It's fairly long, and it gets narrower as it runs to the back, and eventually you'll hit like a blocked passage. So you can take your time and kind of search around. Everybody make search checks for me. Remember that you can try to use like a passion or another skill or a rune to improve these things.
Can I go back? I already rolled, not thinking about that. But can I go back and do that?
You can go back and do that, but don't re-roll, I guess would be what I would say.
Well, then it's not going to matter.
It's not going to matter. Okay, sorry. It wouldn't have mattered anyways in that case.
Yep.
Well, I needed a 30.
Good.
I almost thought I missed it, but then I realized I had my perception bonus.
Okay, so you made a roll. You made a check. Okay, cool. Okay, so the first thing that Kathia, what you'll find, this probably distracted you, which is why you didn't have as much success. At the back of this cave, there are some bodies. There are 4 old skeletal bodies. They're moldering. They still have some equipment on them, but it's mostly falling apart with the ravages of time. And if you poke at them a little, you can spot they've got a few, like 3 axes between them, a couple helmets, old bronze helms. And there's like a couple of like they're carrying a couple of pouches.
Pouches. I like pouches.
Search their stuff and look for treasure.
Cool. All right. So you poke at the bodies and you find in one of the sack, like in one of the larger sacks, there's like some stuff. You think maybe it would have been jerky, bread, hard cheese, stuff like that, but it's just molded away into kind of a bunch of gunk. But in it is an opal that's been polished, and it looks nice. Otherwise, you find some coinage worth a few lunars, like 9 lunars and 2 copper, 2 clacks, and you find one of them has like an arm ring that's obviously pretty easy to take off now that they're just a bone. That would be worth like 6 lunars. It's just a little ring around their arm.
How much is it worth?
Sorry, like 6 lunars. So it's worth the weight of its silver, but there's not any art on it. It's actually marked in chunks, and it's thin, so it looks more like a beaten, like it's trying to describe. It's not like a ring of metal, like a little pipe that's been bent. It's like a flat panel that's been bent. Cool. All right. Let's see. So that's kind of what you find amongst the bodies. So while you're doing that, everybody else is kind of poking around. And as you like are digging around in the walls a little bit and poking at stuff, Sonarios and Orstar both find a little chunk of, and it's tiny. It's like the size of your thumb. Like you're like digging in the ground. This takes a while. Like you guys are really combing things over. But you both come away with just a little tiny chunk of a sort of whitish, extremely hard material that you would think is dragon bone.
What we came here for.
Yes.
As we run it by Merdina to make sure it matches her.
Yes. Yep. She looks at it. She kind of holds it in one hand and she like runs a little. She has like a little wand that has like a little piece of like bronze wire that's been pulled, like wrapped around it, and she kind of runs it over it back and forth a couple times, and then she says, "Yep, this is magical," and it looks like dragon bone.
Yeah,
and she puts that back in her little pouch. So yeah, she thinks these are dragon bone pieces. They're just tiny, tiny little pieces. Like they're the size of like about the size of your thumb. They're both about that size. And that's after that. I mean, you poke around for a while longer, but you just aren't able to find anything. And it's starting to get pretty dark, so it's kind of hard to search effectively.
So we should probably head back to the mouth in our camp and all that good stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
Is there enough space around here that we didn't search thoroughly that'd be worth coming back and searching tomorrow? Or do we get
Not really. You're starting to get the impression that if you want to excavate dragon bone from this hill, like you're gonna have to dig and sift to get like more out of it.
But we probably have enough for what we were wanting.
You think so? Yes. Dragon bone's extremely rare. Even small amounts of it are valuable. Good work, team. So you go back to the maw and you camp out in this dead dragon's mouth again.
Anybody come visit us tonight?
Nope. It's quiet.
Yay.
Quite quiet. All right. So the next morning, you'll set watches and stuff, but nothing is going to bother you. There's nothing much to worry about. The wyverns have eaten, so they're no longer a problem.
See, solved two problems for the price of one.
Yep. So no worries there. So the next morning you'll get up and kind of eat some like bread and meat, like a flatbread and meat, cheese probably mostly. And while you're all kind of sitting there getting around, you have to decide what to do now. You need to go Dwarf Run and then to the dwarf mine that's in Dwarf Run. Again, you can either go back up to Aldature and then go, in which case it'll take about 3 days, or you can just kind of cross the Dragonute Wilds directly to it, in which case it'll take about 2 days.
I think looking at the map, the most straightforward way would be to cross and follow the river up till we can cut directly west. So we will probably, if we can cross the river back officially into Vantoros land instead of on the Dragonwild side,
right?
Would probably do that.
Yeah, so you only spend about part of a day in the actual wilds if you do it that way.
Does that sound good to you?
Take about 2 days.
Yeah, I feel better taking the straighter path but
Yeah.
limiting our time around the Dragon New Wilds.
Makes sense.
I'm not ready for more dragon news.
That's not the important part of this question. All right. So as you leave, unless there's something else here you just need to do, or we're gonna go ahead and move back into travel mode. Okay.
I'm good.
Cool. All right.
I
So
was going to
you
ask.
will.
So I can't kill a wild boar, but I can kill humans.
You have a specific gift. Let's say. To be fair, nobody killed that pig but the wyvern. So
Well, I think we would have finished it then.
I think so too.
But at least we didn't have to sit there and watch someone else eat it raw.
True.
Though I would
True.
have preferred cooking it. So do we do peaceful cut?
Yeah, kind of. Everybody, your butchery skill is the peaceful cut. So if you were to butcher an animal, you would want to roll peaceful cut, not just and that would cover like, hey, we're in a pact here, hunter and hunted, eater and eaten. I'm being respectful to your sacrifice because I've killed you so that I can live. That
That's
just
fair.
using that skill would cover it. But if you're just fighting wild animals that attacks you, you're not expected to like gently shuffle them off into the afterlife because they're just opponents. Like it's not part of the system.
But we would probably want to do something with it afterward if we could.
Yeah, it would be a good move. If you were a hunter, you'd probably feel more strongly pushed towards that.
I feel
But
like
it's not
I
strictly
could be
necessary. So what?
I feel like I could be a hunter.
I mean, yeah, your goddess is a star huntress, but she's more.
Hey,
smart.
I get skill checks in melee weapons for the first time ever, I think.
Look at that.
See, the bonus of, though not my shield, the bonus of fumbling.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you get strange pickups and weird things happening. It's all part of the joy
crap.
of rolling dice.
I didn't
Alright,
update my weapon and shield because my one-handed spear had already increased.
Nice.
Didn't matter. Would have hit the same, but
Righto. Okay, are we all back and good to go?
yes.
Yes.
All right. Let's start moving towards moving on. We'll leave at daybreak. Your characters will just leave as soon as they get around, and you're going to move straight through the Dragon Newt Wilds without stopping, I would assume. So
Yes.
what you'll want to do is just have someone make a move quietly check to see how you do. Whoever's best at it should probably do it.
Well, I'm not great at it. I will just make it because I'm the leader of the war party. I'll do it. I'll shoulder it. I'm guessing nobody's better than me. I'm not great, but I'm guessing nobody's
No
better.
one's too sneaky in this group.
Nope.
Did not make it?
Nope. Just normal failure. 55. We think we're being quiet.
You do think you're being quiet. Okay.
We're not a war party. We are a wedding party.
You wish.
If only. We're not quite there yet, unfortunately. So you run into an unfortunate circumstance here where you're carrying the bones of a dragon through the Dragon Newt Wilds. Like you've got little bits of their bone.
But they're hidden. They can't see them.
No, they can't see them, but they don't need to because they're dragon newts.
I didn't think about this
Why
part.
did they do this to me? I know.
I mean, it makes sense. Our characters wouldn't have thought of it either, probably.
Right. So as you're passing through here, you get so last time you came through there were like 4 little dragon newts with a bigger dragon newt.
Mm-hmm.
And now you only have, you notice, a little too late, that the 4 are still here, and you realize they're still there when they attack you. They don't make any noise or anything. They just like you're walking or riding by some trees, and suddenly a chunk of like polished material that's shaped sort of like a triangle with bent-in edges that are sharpened, like slams into the tree next to you, and you're like, "What was that?" And then these 4 little dragon newts kind of pop out of the grass, and they're just chucking stuff at you.
Are we mounted?
Yes,
So we could probably outrun them.
yes, you have the option of just leaving, but they look mad. So as far as you can tell,
I think we should move, but being who I am, I'm more than happy to take a couple pot shots as we're running.
okay, cool. So yeah, everybody puts the spurs to their mounts, and you flee this situation, and you will take a shot or 2 at them as you go. Okay, so this is not really happening in SR. You're going to get out of their throwing range pretty quickly because they're throwing like what are essentially like draconic ninja stars at you. So there's not a ton of reach on these things. So you'll be able to get past them pretty quickly. They're also not very good at it. So like they don't connect with anybody on the first volley. And then as you run, you can take, we'll say 2, because after the first shot, they're going to start to try and get away. And then you'll lose them after the second. Okay, so take a shot.
That's fine. Okay, I'll find whichever ones I have the best view on and just take a shot. No spells, no nothing.
Mm-hmm.
That would be a normal hit, 41, 89 skill. And hit location.
Okay, you hit him in the, well, it would be, but you actually shoot him in the tail.
Oh, yeah.
Low.
I'll get a strength bonus with bow. So, 4 points of damage.
4 points of damage?
Yep.
Heck yes, he gets to keep that tail. All right, so you shoot him in the tail. There's an arrow sticking out of his tail. As soon as you shoot him, like he goes, like they all look pretty angry. As soon as you shoot him, like his face like crinkles up, and he starts to cry. Like he just drops what he has and like holds his tail to him, and it's just like he's got like little tears like just coming out of his eyes. I don't know. It's hard to say.
Dragon Newt tears.
But he's feeling it. Like he don't want to fight no more. Like it's not fun anymore.
And then there's one of the other ones that's open. I'm not feeling it, that I also will hit with a normal hit.
All right.
This one gets hit in the 18 for 3 points of damage.
3 points to the 18. That is the left arm. So you shoot him in the arm. His arm is still okay. But again, he's hurt. He has an arrow in his arm. He doesn't get sad. He gets madder. But you, like, he like throws himself down to try and dodge, and it doesn't work. Like he tries to dodge after he gets shot, basically, and then you're able to just outpace them. They're not that fast on foot, and since you can choose to gallop for a while, you can just get away from them.
Like sure.
Well done. All right, so yeah, you made a Dragon Newt cry, and then you're away, and
but he didn't lose his tail, so
nope, he got to keep
that
tail.
bad.
It didn't fall off or anything, so that's lucky. All right, so you guys hasten yourselves until you get to the river here. Well, this isn't the river, but it feeds into the river.
River.
Well, the river that runs between you and Dwarf Mine is the river.
Oh, yeah, I see what you mean. It is literally the
like
river.
Its name is the river.
This one's probably the river, and the others flow into it.
Think so?
Yeah.
Yeah, why not? I think the river originates from Skyfall Lake.
Oh, you're right. Which way does the river flow? So does it flow down to this spot?
They flow out of the lake because there's a storm above the lake that thunders and rains day and night. Yep.
Dendela.
Yeah. The river. Well, that's the I think that's the name of that bit of space for like an isthmus. Probably is what the I stands for. Like a narrowing that turns into cataracts or something. I don't know what it stands for, bud. But
have you noticed that the creek is larger than the river?
Yeah, but we just have to roll with it. All right. Like,
okay.
I didn't name them.
No, but I'm going to blame you anyway.
Fair cop. All right. So after you cross this little body of water, flowing body of water here, who is apparently nameless, you pop back into Venteros lands. You're off the plateau, so you're in the river valley, and you just have to continue. By the time, if you follow the river here to the river, you'll probably need to camp around the time you get to their junction, so you can camp at the junction of the waters here.
Makes sense.
And it'll take you most of the day to get to Dwarf Mine after that.
We still in Vantoros land then at night.
Yep.
And
you'll when I say camp's probably the wrong word. You'll probably eventually get met by some people who will offer you to let you stay with them, like some farmers probably that have a boat, so they do some fishing and farming, and they'll let you they'll take you to their stead and put you up for the night, so you'll get to eat some reasonable food. You'll probably give them some of your food or something to be a good guest.
Best food, but sure, they can have some of our food. We can also tell them our tale because we've done a good job.
Yep, definitely. You can be like, we're on an adventure, and they're like, sure you are, kids. Like,
okay, let's orate. One of us should orate at them.
Well, we could tell them about the boars and the wyverns. We don't necessarily need to tell them about the dragon bone.
That's fine. Yeah, we won't tell him about the dragon bone or the other nice things we found.
Oh, yeah, I will tell him about what we did with those and facing dragon newts twice, and once
Mhm.
not making enemies, and the second time being attacked by dragon newt ninjas.
That's how it goes.
But luckily there were 4 of them, so they weren't that good.
Exactly. Yep. No, they seemed like, yeah, you're having an adventure. Like, and then it's like, oh no, you're actually on an adventure. Like, you're actually doing something more impressive than just wandering around like a bunch of vagabond youths.
I make sure to take time and polish up my spear tip that still has a little blood crusted in the.
Nice. Okay.
No, it probably
No,
doesn't,
they
'cause
end
we
up
cleaned it up
believing
and-
you and being like impressed. They give you a little more respect after that. And but they've been, like I said, they've been generous hosts. They put you up and giving you a place to sleep and food and water and stuff. And then the next day, you'll leave. They don't really expect you to stay around or anything. So, and you're gonna have to press on for most of the day to get to Dwarf Mine at a decent time. So you just follow the river now, the river up north until you get to about the right place. Then you just have to turn off.
Go a few miles to Dwarf Mine and hope we find
Yep. And what's lucky for you is, like, once you get close enough, you kind of know that if you travel over, you'll hit this little stream or creek or whatever it is that runs off the slopes there, and that's the run that Dwarf Run is, and then Dwarf Mine is in the run. So it's like a depression that's kind of cut into the ground, and so you can just follow that little tributary to it, and it's pretty dark by the time you actually get here. You've never been here before. You don't even really know, like, maybe you know, like, one person, the Chalon Arroy man that you talked to, the cultist, the healer. Other than that, like, you don't know anybody in your regular life who's ever been here before.
Hey,
so
we're
that
first-time
evening,
explorers.
yeah, exactly. That evening, you're moving up the run. It is kind of cut into the ground a bit, and as you get where you think you're supposed to be, you see, like, you're walking along the shore of this little river, and then there's sort of the ground rises up above you, and then ahead of you there's a protrusion, and in it are these 3 huge, like truly massive lintel stones that form like a huge doorway. And the structure is roughly square, so it's about as tall as it is wide, and it's substantially taller than a person. Um, as you get a little closer and you can make out more details in the like half shadow of the evening, on either side of the lintel, so the 2 like upright pillars are standing like 2 huge stone figures that are roughly as tall as it is. And so they're probably like 40 feet tall. And they look humanoid, but not human. They're too rough hewn to be human. Like, they don't really have features. They just have like a big stone body and stubby, like, kind of rough stone legs and stone arms, and then their face is just like a boulder kind of plopped down on top of that. They're not, when you approach, they're not moving or anything. They look like statues, like rough statues. They both have a club made of stone. One of them is leaning on it, and the other one has it over his shoulders. But as you approach, both of the stone pieces start to move slowly. Like, their heads kind of turn to what you would imagine. They don't have facial features, but they sort of change angle, like they're facing you. And one of them, the one that has his club over his shoulders, like, picks it up off of his shoulders and sets it down in front of him so he can, like, lean towards you. They don't say anything.
Slow down and pay attention in case it starts to do anything. Or if they let us pass, we'll pass. But if they do anything at all more hostile,
All right, as you get closer,
I'll greet them too. Give them a greeting to the, give them my name, and we're here on a quest.
Right, so you do that.
Meet the dwarf.
And they sort of slowly, like, their heads, like, it's like this grinding, like, sort of glacial, like, they turn to look at each other, and they turn back to the group, and then Orstar calls out that he wants to trade. And then they sort of, the one that has kept his club down the whole time, like, reaches out a hand and, like, beckons you through the door. And again, it's huge. Like, it's like 40, like 30, it's probably about 30 feet tall, like the interior of the door, and about 30 feet wide.
So we can safely ride in.
Oh yeah, definitely. So you ride into like a tunnel that's been cut into this, and it kind of it's like an antechamber, and then it turns off to your left and goes deeper into the ground. And once you've gotten in here, you're met by once you get in there, you're met by a dwarf named Ginzy. This is the first dwarf you've ever seen. He introduces himself as Ginzy. He's short, and he's maybe like 4 feetish tall, and he's about 4 feet wide, like a cross. And he's like, you can just tell from looking at him, like his shoulders are about 6 inches, like different heights. He's got a really broad face, so like his eyes are not the same level. His hands are really big. His legs are really short, and he's just wearing like looks like some sort of woven metallic cloth, like wrapped around himself. And he greets you and says, "My name's Ginzy, and I'll be your guide. I'll show you around."
Introduce ourselves.
Right, yeah. And
And
like I
thank
said,
him.
Orstar is like half taking point on this, but you guys are definitely still able to interject and say things as well and introduce yourselves for sure. So Ginzy kind of brightens up and at the introductions and says, "Gesundheit."
Tried to get away from the mic, but I should
No, you're
turn it
good.
off.
There's no running away. So Ginzy sort of brightens up the introductions and says, the dwarf, Isidelian, will be happy to see visitors. We haven't had anyone here for a little while." And then you're walking down this like long tunnel. You're still tall enough to ride in, and Ginzy kind of makes conversation with you about, well, how's it going out there? What's life like? Is there anything interesting happening? So just stuff like that. We don't have to make a bunch of small talk, but he is making small talk. So
I will be happy to make any small talk we need to, but also if Orstar's taking the lead and doing
yep,
it
yep,
was
yep.
kind
And
of
he's
beat
and
support.
for sure. And Orstar is pretty personable, so he's happy to chat with Genzi and ask him like some questions back. And they seem like they get along pretty well. And you do get the impression that you're being you and Elindor and Scenarios are kind of being viewed as bodyguards for Orstar. Like,
That makes sense. And I figure Mardina is probably the next one up there that's
yeah,
being actively
the
involved.
assistant scribe. So she's kind of trotting along. Orstar is trotting along. You guys are kind of following a step back, and you come to like a point. There's like alcoves and notches set into this hallway. There's and it's pretty nice. Like it's cut and paved and like looks really nice. But you get to a set of big doors, and the Genzi kind of like stops at it, and he like waves a hand at it, and then the door slides open, and you guys get into this box, and it makes terrible noises, and then
Oh,
it
no.
kind of moves, and then you like drop a level. Like you feel like you're falling, but slowly. You're like, I don't like this at all. And then
Elevators, dark magic.
Genzi seems cool with it, and you get down a level, and you're at this large open space. You'd call it a cavern, but it's way too regular. It's been cut and built, but it's the size of a large cave. It's lit with this like unblinking glare of like yellowish light, and there's a bunch of like stalls and stuff set up in it. There's like little shops and things, and then pathways that cut through them. And you guys, like, you're above it at your entry level. There's a set of like ramps that lead down to it, but you don't go down there. There's a set of walkways, like large avenues that ring around it, and you just stay up there and walk sort of to bypass this. And Genzi kind of gestures at it and goes, "That's the first bazaar, and we don't need anything down there today." So you guys just kind of move past it.
We'll look at it.
You eventually get say what?
So we'll look at it and see what's down there, but you don't have to
Yeah,
go into
there's
detail.
all sorts of like little shops and things. There's people with mostly dwarves with like goods and stuff that they're moving around, and it seems like you never really see anybody like haggling or trading money, but like goods are being moved back and forth quite a bit. So you're not sure exactly what's going on there. You see a few humans down there too, but not very many. And then you get to another big set of doors, and you take another god awful lift down to a second set. And through here you see, and these are just things you're seeing, like you're just being kind of passing through them. But the next level is what Genzi just calls the forge. And like as soon as the doors open, you can feel the heat rolling off the place, and you can see like very careful like canals of magma that have been constructed, and there are big forge shops and like large anvils and things like set up. And a couple of items you don't really, they look like clubs or hammers, but of massive size. that are being operated, and you kind of walk through an avenue, just like through this, on your way to another lift, and you see little dwarves scrambling around. Say what? Well, you got to go deeper and deeper.
Yeah, but it just occurred to me, we may be
Mhm.
making a contact that has the ability to work iron.
You are definitely making a contact that has the ability to work iron. Whether or not you can exploit that, hard to say.
Love to have
Okay,
an
so
iron breastplate.
you finally, yeah, I'm sure you would. You
And
finally
helmet.
get to a lift and you pop down. These lifts are huge, by the way. Like, you're still mounted at this point.
Oh,
Your horse, your animals do not like the heat of this place, but they're willing to put up with it because they're being
to be
controlled.
fair, I don't either.
Yeah, it's oppressive. Like, soaking your clothes with sweat, like, just miserable. The Ginzy does not seem to notice it at all. Period. Like, he doesn't seem even mildly discomfited. And neither do any of the dwarves that you see working, but it sucks. It's miserable.
Must be a dwarf thing.
Yep. So you get onto a big lift and you drop down another level. It's miserable. You pop out of it. It's loud. Is really a lot of it. There's a lot of noise associated with these things. And then you get out of this lift, this box of misery, and there's a couple more dwarves down here, and they at this point ask you to dismount. And they kind of take your horses,
Could
and
lift our horses
they
above, poor things.
you could have, but this was more fun. Ginzy leads you down this hallway, and he opens a big like pair of double doors that swing out, and he lets you into this room that is like a long, like it's a wide, narrow hall. Like it has like a table in the middle, and it's like, I don't know, like 50 feet across, but like 15 feet deep, sort of situation. And carved into a niche, like directly opposite these doors, is like a multi-level dais, so like several levels of platform. And there's like this stone chair on it that's just been cut by slabs, and sitting on that is another dwarf, who's obviously, you think, the dwarf you're supposed to see. And then there's like I said, there's like a long narrow table that kind of fills this room, and there are seats running along one, like the near side of it. And Ginzy gestures for you guys to sit like opposite the dwarf. Yep, he glances at you guys because he's nervous, but then he kind of like goes forward first and sits. He kind of like also just looks to be like, am I supposed
Give
to sit?
him a reassuring smile. Look.
Right. You're like, no, it's cool. Go ahead.
Just trying to
So
give
you
him
land there. Again, this
confidence.
place is lit with just like a steady light that doesn't flicker or like snatch at all. Or snatch. Not snatch, that's the wrong word. Snap. Like, there's no movement to it. And then so Isidelian, like all dwarves, looks pretty grotesque to human eyes. He looks like a clay doll that's been like pinched and distorted and then crumpled. Like he started out being like a child made a clay doll of a person and then crushed it in their hands. And that's kind of like what his body looks like, but it's just how he is. Like, he wasn't
his
wounded
name?
or hurt. Isidelian. So, but his eyes
Clay
are
dwarf?
clear. Nope, it's just a description. His actual, he's wearing, like, even though his form is like, to your standards, like horribly deformed, he is wearing like a really nice like purple robe that has like a lot of cloth and folds on it, and its fringe is metal, and it looks like it's aluminum.
This guy's rich.
He's a lot of things, and that's one of them, but it's not the most important thing about yeah, he's really welcoming. Like, when he sees you, like, his eyes light up. He welcomes you to his hall. He welcomes you to Dwarf Mine. He offers food and drink, which Orstar will accept food and drink because it's being a good guest, and they bring you out like a nice wine from like Clear Wine to your south, which is, say what?
Probably better than what we've had before.
It is the best. It's among the best wine in Dragon Pass, yes. So like, you're offered like clear wine, you're offered like mostly vegetables, but there's some meat with it. Yeah, like, and like I said, Orstar accepts, so you guys do get served like a plate of food to eat, and he makes conversation with you. Again, he seems friendly and inquisitive and interested in what's going on in your day-to-day lives, if anything has happened, if there's any news from the outside world. And he kind of is pretty friendly and agreeable. He does not eat or drink at any point while you're meeting with him, and neither do any of the other dwarves that are there, because there's like Genzi and then 2 attendants, and neither of those 4 dwarves, none of them eat or drink. They just they have food for you.
This?
Say what?
Should we be concerned about this?
No, of course not. So yeah, so he asked to hear your story, and what And Orstar kind of tells like a little bit about what he's done and what you guys have done and how his friends helped him do all these things and why he wants to meet the dwarf and how he's heard of his generosity and how Orstar just wants to get married and he knows he needs a gift and he couldn't think of anything worthy and he'd hoped to impress on Isidelian's legendary generosity and all those things. And Isidelian is apparently easily flattered because he just kind of laughs and his smile goes wider at that. And then he asks, I am a generous host and give gifts to all who visit me, but it sounds like you've brought something for me as well, which I will also reward. And at that point, Orstar shows him the dragon bone, pieces that you have. So they're tiny. One of the dwarves who's wearing he's got like white gloves on, takes them from Orstar and polishes them a bit, and then he gingerly walks them over to Isidelian and goes up the dais and hands them to him to look at. And his eyes, you can see Isidelian's face, again, his head is substantially larger than you would think for his body. You can see his eyes light up, and he looks them over and he pops a little, he's got a piece of crystal or something that he pops, it's in a assembly that he pops over his eye, and he twists it around a couple times and he looks at them and you can hear him sort of muttering to himself or talking in the dwarven language, which you do not understand. And he kind of looks at them for a while and then he goes, these are quite nice indeed, and I would owe you a great deal for them. Luckily, I'm good for that debt. And he kind of looks at you guys for a little bit. You can see him, he mutters again to himself, under his breath, stuff in Dwarven that you don't understand. You can't even really hear it very well, but you definitely can't understand it anyways. But he assesses each of you and he looks at you he adjusts his little monocle thing. At different points he stretches out a hand and frames you with fingers at different angles. And then he calls over one of his dwarf attendants, whispers into his ear. And then a few minutes later, they wheel out a cart, a little metal tray cart. And then Isidelian announces what he's giving to you. So he says, "For Orstar, who brought me this dragon stone, and who gathered his companions, and has been a good guest, beyond most, for bringing things, and who wishes to get married, apparently, he may have this thing, a quaint little throwback that used to be of more value to us, but which I have to spare. The combustion static generator engine," he says. You don't know what that means. But it's a little a complex glowing device, about a foot tall, kind of a cylinder. It's got a lot of little pieces. It whines softly, and yeah, Orstar kind of looks at it, and then one of the dwarfs wraps it up in a little leather pack, just for it sides to fit it, and it has a little strap on it so he can carry it. And Isidelian says it helps fires burn. It maintains the rate of fire. So he goes through a lot of stuff you don't understand very well, but eventually Mardina kind of whispers to you guys it sounds like you can just set an area for it, and the smaller the area you choose, the greater the efficiency of things that burn in it. So if you spread it out over a Tula, it would help a little. If you spread it out over one fire, that fire would burn almost forever. Yeah, it's pretty neat. It's cool. Yeah, it's the sort of thing he could give a clan that they would value. Yeah. So it's a good gift. Isidelian gives good gifts. He's a nice man. So, Dwarf. All right. Since you had more, though, he kind of that happens. Then he the lower tray on this cart, the other dwarf rolls up the little cloth that's hanging over it, and Isidelian goes, "And trinkets for his friends who helped him and were so generous to him. I should be generous to them as well." And he kind of disperses these little things. So he gives Mardina, one of his attendants carries him over. He's never actually gotten out of his throne or really moved around. He carries over Mardina this little stick. It looks like a little piece of chalk that's about the size of a pencil. And Mardina gets really excited about it because it's a transfer stick. So it's a little magic item that is sometimes associated with Linkermai, but it's a piece of chalk that if you rub it over a page, and then rub it over another page, it'll copy that page. And what's special about this one is that it'll copy about 2 pages, but if she spends a magic point, like if she invests some of her own power into it, she can recharge it like at the rate of like 1 MP per page. So she can use it to make copies of things really quickly. So she's really enthusiastic about that. To Elendor, he gives something. It's a blue rock that looks wet. Like you can see like water, like little beads of water form at the top, and then as they flow, they disappear by the time they reach the bottom of it. And it's hung in a little silver trinket, like a little silver locket. And he just calls it a Heller stone. And Elendor seems like touched to have this. You don't really understand what it does.
Necklace or something?
Yes, yeah. It's like a necklace. All right, to Kathia, he hands you, it's a little flat disc of one of his attendants, I should say, brings you this. It's a little flat disc of like a white quartz, but it's, when you look at it, you can tell that it has like a little bit of silver light inside of it. Like it's glowing very faintly. And Isidelian tells you that it's a star stone, that it's a piece of a fallen star, and it glows day and night. And if you cast light type spells on it, they'll last twice as long because it has some light in it, and because its function is to, like, it's a star's function, right? Is to carry light into the darkness. So that's what it does. Like it holds on to light.
It doubles
the duration of like light or lantern.
duration.
Yeah, but it's pretty, and it's obviously magical because it's a piece of rock that glows.
So to get about the right size, I could put it on like a necklace or something.
Yes. Yeah, it would fit in your palm pretty comfortably. Okay. To Sonarios, he gives, his attendant brings out last of all. It's a little cube of green rock, like about, I don't know, 3 by 3 by 3, about 3 inches on a side. And it looks just like rock, but when you take it, when it drops into your hand, it sounds hollow, and you know there's something in it. It's like it rattles when you shake it. He tells you it's a green cube. It's sacred to Ernalda, these sorts of stone, and that's really all he knows about it. There's more to it than that, but we'll talk about it later because he doesn't know much about it. It's a religious thing, so not really his steez. Nice, cool. All right. So, also, because you were such good guests, as you're leaving, he doesn't really entertain many questions after this. Like, what you're kind of noticing, like you got a little overawed. He asked a lot of questions, and then he gave you stuff, and now you're being like sort of gently ushered away. Like, as parting favors, you're each given like a nice little ingot of silver, which is about the length of your hand, and it has about 75 lunars of silver in it, as just like a little token of his appreciation of your visit. By far the least worthwhile thing he's given away today. Cool. He
was
as you're
generous.
ushered away, it is late in the night, so like the dwarves will put you up overnight, and a couple of like you get a couple of small rooms or like little cubes of earth, like, or stone, excuse me, and they're appointed, like they have like beds in them, but they're pretty sparse. Like they have blankets but no pillows, sort of stuff. Looking
That's
at them,
very
you're not certain that like dwarves actually sleep. So you're not sure if this is just like a good effort on their part, like they're doing their best to accommodate a need that they don't understand or what, but that's kind of like what you got. So, but it's not bad. And like,
we've been sleeping on the ground for a bit, so you know it's can't be any worse than that.
yeah, they're super fancy. It's just that for being fancy, there are some pieces missing, basically. So you're just not sure if that's like, you're not really sure about that. But yeah, so they put you up overnight. The next morning, they wake you up and escort you out. It's not like armed escort, but like Genzi kind of mentions like, hey, like, thanks for coming. We appreciate you bringing stuff. And we're glad you've heard of Isidelian's reputation and his generosity. And just by the by, between you and me, like, you probably should never come back unless you have something worth trading.
I mean, but we did last time, right?
You did, yeah. This is just
okay.
you get one free shot, like, and like you can impress on him, and then he's given you stuff, and you traded stuff, and if you ever want to come back, like, basically, like you get everybody gets a one sort of situation here. Like, cool. So that's pretty much Dwarf Mine for you. The The big stone statues at the front watch you leave. You're giving your horses back and stuff. They don't take anything but what you offered, and they've given you. You honestly have no way of knowing what's a fair trade. But it feels like you got a lot.
Yeah, I feel like we did pretty well. Of course, since none of us died, getting the stone, the dragon bone,
Yeah,
it seems like a good deal.
That was a little touch and go there for a minute. All right, so we're kind of going to zoom a little bit through this because nothing much is going to happen. You'll spend a day or so traveling back to Aldature. You'll stay overnight at your clan hall or your tribal hall space that's dedicated for that sort of thing, and then you'll just have to travel back home, and that'll take a couple days. It was a good adventure. It was a long adventure. My goodness, we've several sessions of this.
Yes.
So
I do love our several session Quetch Fest for an NPC. It was fun, but I'm going to make fun of it.
So real talk, like I'm going to pull the curtains back a little bit here, and my intention going in was that you would just go to Dwarf Mine, and the game would be about navigating like the comedy of manners of trying to deal with dwarves. But then you were like, we should take something, and I was like, yes, that makes perfect sense. So that's the sort of thing your character would legitimately think was like necessary. So I just went with it. I was not planning a fetch quest, but sometimes fetch quests just happen to you.
So you're trying to say it's our fault?
No, I'm trying to say it's your fault. You were the one who said it. But
that's all right. Yeah. We had fun.
No, it was super fun. We got to see a lot of stuff. We kind of got to do the like elder races grand tour. Like we saw dwarves, we saw dragon newts, we saw trolls. We got to do some stuff in Aldature. That was fun.
Yeah, we've met them all now, haven't we?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, all the big ones outside like the weird little like Children of the Sky and stuff like that. Like,
and I wanted to say we kind of made friends of all of them, but maybe the dragon newts we're not on the best of terms with now.
It's hard to tell with dragon newts,
but they probably forgot by the time we get back.
You're not even sure if they attacked you because you had Dragonstone on you or Dragon Bone on you or not, or if they just attacked you because it's what happened that time. Like it's hard to tell with them what their motives ever are. All right, cool. All right, with that, I think we're done here, so we will go ahead and stop.
Okay, great.
All right, bye.